time they don't give you the common difference. Let's take a look at A12 and look at this a little bit more. So what this means here, it's telling you that n is 12. Okay, and it's literally telling you, this is where I think this is still very confusing, but it's telling you that the 12th term is minus 38. Okay, and you're going to see in a moment why that matters here. So this is our formula. We're going to use this a bunch of times here. So what happens is that instead of an, you're going to write this number here, minus 38. You don't know a1, so you don't write anything there, but you do know that n is 12. So it becomes 12 minus 1 times d. And if I just simplify this 12 minus 1, I get minus 38 equals a1 plus 11d. There are two unknowns in this equation. Okay. So we're going to similarly do the same thing for this other point. A sub 19 means that n is 19.
Okay.
The 19th term is negative 73. So if we go back to this formula right here, that minus 73 goes in for that 19th term. So it's going to be minus 73 equals a1, which we don't know, plus 19 minus 1 times d. So in both this line and then the line we just did, we take the given information, substitute into this, and then the next line is just a simplify step. So we're going to simplify this. Minus 73 equals a1 plus 18d. So I'm going to highlight this line and this line. Hopefully you see that they're slightly different. And I'm going to rewrite them. I'm going to rewrite them because what we just did, we do to get these two lines, and we need to put them on top of each other. So it's going to look like this. Minus 38 equals a1 plus 11d minus 73 equals a1 plus 18d. Okay, and this is what's called a system of equations. But it's an easier version of a system of equations. Okay, so you literally subtract vertically. Oh, sorry, that went too far on that. So you subtract vertically. So you take this minus 38 and you subtract minus 73. Minus 38 minus a minus 73. So that becomes positive 35. You're subtracting this whole line here. So now it's a1 minus a1. So what does that become? 0, right? It goes away completely. Then you have this 11d minus 18d, which is minus 7d. So now if you subtract 7, divide by negative 7 on both sides, you get negative 5 equals d. Good. Okay. Problem is you need both d and a1. So you have to go back to one equation or the other. So I'm gonna grab this first equation, minus 38 equals a1 plus 11d, and I'm gonna put that d value in there. So minus 38 equals a1 plus 11 times minus 5. Okay, and then you add 55 to both sides, and you get a1 equals, in this case, 17.
That's too much.
Okay, there. So in terms of our answer, again, our answer is we need an equals a1 plus n minus 1 times d. A1 is 17 plus n minus 1 times minus 5.
Okay.
So there's a bit of a shortcut to this, which we'll try in the next problem. But it's not that much better. I mean, it shortens this up just a tiny bit. Alternatively, there are a number of calculators available online that you can will hide the steps here. You know, those work great if you're just submitting answers, but when you have to do it on your own, they don't work so well.
Right. Okay.
Okay, well, let me grab this question and I'll try and show you the shortcut for this. All right, let me share my screen. Share screen. Great. Okay. The way that I would do this is I would always start with whichever number is bigger. Which number is bigger?
96.
96. And then you subtract the smaller number, 41. And then this equals, you have to take this 10 because it goes with the 96 minus this 5 times d. Okay. Now, how did I get that? And that's where this is really important here. If you think of 5 and 41 as an ordered pair, 5 comma 41, 10 comma 96. Okay. And I asked you to find the slope. Do you remember how to do that?
No. Yeah. Yes. Yeah.
You've seen that before.
Yeah.
So notice it's 96 minus 41, which is over here, over 10 minus 5, which is here. So notice if I subtract 10 minus 5, or I'm sorry, divide it, I get the same thing. Okay. So M is really D. So this is your D.
Okay.
So can you give me that number?
Give me 1 second. 55 and 5.
Yeah, what does that reduce to? This is a division we're dividing.
11.
11. So D is 11. So let me actually grab this problem again, snip it in, and we just figured out that D is 11. Okay. The formula is AN equals A1 plus N minus 1 times D. And now you know that D is 11. So you choose one of these. Let's choose this one on the left. This is like what we're doing in problems 1 through 4. That 5 means that N is 5. So that's going to go here. The 41 always goes in this position here. So 41 equals A1 plus 5 minus 1 times 11. And now it looks a lot like what we were doing in questions 1 through 4.
Right.
you remember just doing this in 1 through 4?
Yeah. 4, 11, it'd be 44. You subtract, and it'd be 3.
Negative
And
3, yeah.
negative 3. Yeah.
Right. And so that's the other piece. We needed A1 and we needed D.
Okay.
So AN is A1 plus N minus 1 times D. A1 is minus 3 and D is 11.
Okay.
So just keep in mind, at about 15 minutes, we've done 2 problems. They're very long. If you would like us to keep working on these, we can. If you want something else for us to go through, we can also do that. Please let me know what you want to do.
Yeah. Let's go on to 8.3 because this is this is frustrating me just to do a bit.
Okay.
Okay.
Go ahead and share your screen whenever you're ready.
Oh, okay.
Okay, so
And this is just multiplying and dividing.
this one you can visually see you're dividing by 2. So this is geometric. And you may want to get that Desmos Scientific calculator up at some point, maybe not for this problem, but so again, like you take the right number 48 and you divide it by 96. Divide, not subtract.
40 divided by 96?
Yes, it's always the right divided by the left. So then you could do 24 divided by 48 and you'll see it's exactly the same. The common ratio is 1/2. You can do another one if you want.
And then 96
that's it.
over
No, you're done. You're done. You just have to give your reasoning.
Okay.
Yes.
Got it. So,
Okay, that's 1/3. Good. Usually 3 is enough to kind of decide if it's the same.
okay. 2.
This one is going up by 2 each time. Like if you would see if you did 4 divided by 2 and then 6 divided by. No. Go to the right because do 4 divided by 2 and then 6 divided by 4 and they're not the same. So that means that this one is not, because it's got to go up by the same amount.
Okay.
Or add or multiply or divide by the same amount.
Okay. 4. What's the I'm going to 25. Yeah.
So do you see how if it's got to be all this, well, it's really odd the way they did those. Yeah. Just this isn't a good example for me to explain, but maybe another. Yep, you got to do the right divided by the left. So it's going to be 7.5 over minus 1.5. The first one is fine. Yeah, it's
Okay.
yeah, and I know it's awkward because it's weird. We're used to going left to right, but in this you got to go the other way. So now you can do that minus. Yeah, so this one is.
Yeah, I'm gonna say this one is actually gonna go by 4, to be honest. Wait,
So maybe highlight all of that and then put a division. I don't know if it'll allow you to do that. Can you select all of that text and then do a slash? The 1 over 16. Can you highlight it and then do a slash or division?
Yeah.
There it is. That's what you want.
1 over 4.
Yep. And then you can copy that down to the next row if you think that will be helpful to. It's however you like to organize your so the way you have that written there, it's not going to give you the right answer. It's got to look exactly like the previous line. So highlight all that. There you go. It's got to have a bigger fraction bar in the middle. Good. Okay. So this one requires you to do the similar thing here. Could you figure out the value of R, and then I'll show you on my screen what to do from here.
How do I find R again?
Exactly the same thing you were doing. What did you do in the previous round? We took 20
Oh, yeah.
and divided by 4, and then 100 and divided it by 20.
Okay. I got 5.
You got 5. Great. So for geometric, which I guess this doesn't say, but for geometrics, AN is A1 parentheses R to the n minus 1 power. Okay, so notice you need 2 things. You need A1, which is the first term, and then you need R, which you just found. So your AN is 4 parentheses 5 to the n minus 1 power. So go ahead and enter that for that first box. And then I'll show you how to determine that value using the Desmos Scientific calculator.
Okay.
So go ahead and share your screen whenever you're ready.
Let me use one second. Record this one. There we go.
Okay, looks like you're starting to screen share. Wait for it, wait for it. Excellent. Okay, so go ahead and erase everything you have in that line, and let's start with n equals 7, and then hit enter, and then type 4 parentheses 5. Okay, close parentheses, and then that exponent, the a to the b, or you can use the shift. Now this so, well, you need to you go backspace that, please. You have to put the exponent in parentheses for this. So open parentheses and -1 inside parentheses. Yeah, there it is. For some reason, this Desmos requires you to do it this way. It's a little awkward.
Yeah. Okay.
And that's the number you're looking for there.
And I just put it in here, right?
Yep. 62,500. Okay, so for the next one here, I want you to find the value of what's called R, your common ratio, 24 divided by 6, 96 divided by 4. You want to make sure that those are the same. Excellent. So go to where it says AN equals on the left, and you put the first number, which is 6, parentheses, your common ratio, which is 4. Actually, you on that, yeah, your last line on the right where it says 96 over 4, it should be 96 over 24, and there it is. Back on the left side, it's the exponent n-1 outside the parentheses, just like you have kind of written up above there. Yeah, so n-1. Okay, fantastic. Now you can actually, on the right, you can delete your last 2 lines. I think you can, I don't know if that's quick to do. Oh, you went too far. I was trying to save you from having to rewrite it. Okay, so you got to type in 6. Yeah, there we go. Undo. Right there, perfect. That's it. So change your numbers to match your problem. So instead of the 4, you're going to put 6. Instead of the 5, you're going to put 4.
Okay. That's not too hard.
Okay, so similarly, you've got to find the ratio between terms. Okay, you probably feel convinced it's 0.5. So the formula for AN is the first term, which in this case is 112. So you're going to go back to that box on the left. And you always put the first term in, 112, parentheses, the number you've been calculating, 0.5, and then to the power of n-1.
Okay.
And then you can rewrite it like you did there. 0.5 parentheses, exponent parentheses. Yeah, now see, it knows that your n is 7 from 3 or 4 lines up.
Okay.
Okay, come on.
Ooh.
Awesome. Well done.
And- oh, that's it. Cool.
That's good.
Well, these ones are simple.
Is there another section, 8.4, maybe there's some graphing?
There's an 8.3 part 2. But other than that, it would just be the other assignment.
Okay, well, let's take a look at this one. We'll see if maybe do a few of these, do a few of each. Hopefully this thing loads. Does it normally load slow, or is it just when we're doing a lesson?
Honestly, I don't know, but I kind of feel like because I'm using my school computer because I figured out it actually works. So
Okay, good.
and it was just easier for me. So it could just be like the software that's on it. But yeah, next time I'll have them all loaded up before. There we go. Okay.
Yeah, this would be good for us to do a few together. How do we want to do this here? Go ahead and put minus 500 in that fourth position there. I'm on the left. I'm sorry. See where it says n equals 4 on the left?
Gracious. Minus 500?
Not there. No, you're in the go close that. Do you see where it says n equals 4? Yeah, right there. Scroll up just a little bit. Your problem gives you that A4 is minus 500. Do you see that? So it's saying when n is 4, it's minus 500.
Okay.
Okay. So this one is problematic because we don't have the first term, but we've got the fourth term. Okay. So how do you go from the third to the fourth term? Well, you multiply by 500. I'm sorry, by 5, that R value.
Okay.
Okay. So to go to the fifth number, you multiply that minus 500 by 5. So on the calculator on the right there, go take the minus 500 and multiply it by 5. That's minus 2,500. So that goes into that next position. To find the next number, you take the number you just found and multiply it by 5 again. You can actually just put, no, not 6, not 6. Put 5 there. And okay, yeah, that'll work too. Minus 2,500 times 5.
Okay.
Okay. So that's the number that goes there. It's negative though. Put a negative in front. Now I want you to go ahead and close out that. Now if you were to go backwards, like if you went from minus 12,500 to minus 2,500, what is backwards, or what is undoing multiplication by 5?
Maybe divide.
Exactly. So do you see how if you divide minus 12,500 by 5, you get 2,500?
So
and if you divide 20,
5.
so I want you to divide the minus 500 by 5, except it's negative. It's got to be negative 100. You're going to get the next one, negative 20, right? That's good. Then you're going to do negative 20 divided by 5, and I think that'll get you the 3 that you need. Fantastic. Now, AN is the first term. That's minus 4. It's the first term you found. Parentheses, open parentheses, your R value, which is 5. to the power of n minus 1 on the outside the parentheses.
Okay, dokie.
So let's do the same thing. Go to the 3 position and put the 4 in. And then the fourth number, you're going to multiply by 2 because that's the R value. So 4 times 2 is 8, then double it again, then next one, 32. Fantastic. So going the other direction, you're dividing by 2. That gives you 2, and then 2 divided by 2 is 1. The AN is your first term, which is 1, parentheses, your R value, to the power of n minus 1. Perfect.
Okay. We're gonna go to the movies, so we're gonna go to the movies. So I don't know if we're gonna eat here for dinner. I'll ask if he wants to eat here. Yeah.
81. You go ahead and just going to suggest you enter some of those. 243.
And 729.
Perfect. And then you go backwards. You undo it by dividing by 3. Fantastic.
And it's be 3 times
3 because 3 parentheses 3 because they can be the same to the power of n minus 1.
Year. I hear ya. Okay. Cool.
This one is slightly different. So go ahead and put the 30 in that position. You're always multiplying. You're multiplying by R, which is 1/2. So it's 30 times 1/2, which is 15. And then you're taking 15 and you're multiplying it by 1/2. Yep, just like that. Probably want to go 1.875 if you can. Now, do you see how that 15 is already there?
Yeah.
That means you got to undo it. You got to go the other direction.
So,
no,
so
15 is correct, but remember you were multiplying by 1/2, so you have to divide by 1/2.
Yeah. So it'd be 30 over 2?
Over 1/2.
Oh my goodness. Okay.
Yeah, and it's a little odd, but do 1/2 down there. There you go. The other thing you could do is notice that you're going the other direction. Now, could you go 1/2 to the power of n minus 1? Before you submit that last entry, it seems to be missing a decimal place, and I don't know if it will matter. Should be 1.875. There we go. Okay, now my recommendation would maybe be to go back and do some of the ones from that previous one that were a little bit longer, since you've got my help here for the last 10, 12 minutes. It's up to you though. You may be able to finish some of that on your own now that you see how to get it started.
Mm-hmm.
I'm just going to step away for 10 seconds, but I'll be right back when this loads.
All right.
When I asked Marco about dinner because I gotta take hamburger out, I need to know. We're gonna have tacos.
Okay, so let me grab this question and I'll share my screen. And again, I'll try to make this a little simpler. All right, so let me share my screen. So I mentioned this earlier. I said we've got to look at these as ordered pairs. So this A7 equals 58 corresponds to the ordered pair 7, 58. And this A11 equals 94. It corresponds to 11, 94. And your slope is y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1. So this is x1, this is y1, x2, and this is y2. 94 minus 58 over 11 minus 7. Now, could you calculate that for me, please?
36 and 4.
Okay, so give me the final number here when you divide.
6. 9.
Yeah, so m is 9. So m is really your d value.
Okay.
So now you just pick one of these, and I'll pick the first one. The 58 is the an. The 7 is your value of n. And the d value you just found. So you write the 58 equals a1 plus your n value, which is 7, minus 1 times 9. Okay, and you solve this for a1. So your a1 ends up equaling 4. So you found that d is 9, a1 is 4. Your formula requires you to find a1 and d. So your formula is 4 plus n minus 1 times 9. I can't make this any easier than that. That's I mean, other than you going out and finding an online calculator, that is the only path here to making this more efficient.
Okay.
Whenever you're ready, go ahead and share your screen. We'll look at another question together.
Okay.
All right, so I've grabbed that. I'm going to snip it, and then I'm going to share my screen, and we'll work through this one. All right, so again, this first thing, a6 equals minus 8, that's an ordered pair. It's the ordered pair 6 comma minus 8. The a15 equals minus 62. It is also an ordered pair. It is 15 comma minus 62. And your slope is y2 minus y1, x2 minus x1, and that's really your d. So it's minus 62 minus a minus 8. Notice I'm using the second numbers over 15 minus 6. So could you give me the final number here, please?
Mm, 7.77.
No, this one works out nicely. Maybe you've got a mismatch of signs here. Try to enter it exactly the way I'm showing it here in Desmos, and that should help.
It's -6.
-6, I agree. So that's your D value. Yay, we got one of them. We need two things. We need A1 and D. We've got one of them. And then you go and you pick one of these numbers. I'm going to pick the first one, just arbitrarily. The 6 is N, and that's going to go here. -8 is this AN, it's going to go here. So that gives you -8 equals A1 plus 6 minus 1 times -6. I'm just plugging the numbers into this equation here. -8 equals A1 plus 5 times -6. -30, and add 30 to both sides. So A1 equals 22. So you needed two things. You needed your D value, which is -6, your A1 value, which is 22, your AN is A1 plus N minus 1 times D. So that's 22 plus N minus 1 times -6. Now, I'm not going to sit here and pretend like this is interesting. It's probably not even important for something you're going to do later in life. But you will get at least one question on the test like this. So hopefully there's enough that you're seeing over and over again that you'll be able to replicate this when it does matter.
Right. I'll just share my screen right now so I don't have to come back. Okay.
This will probably be our last problem here, and maybe you're satisfied with 9 out of 10 on your homework, so you can move on to something else.
Yeah, I'll be fine with that.
All right, so I'm going to share my screen. So the shortcut here is that eventually you just realize, oh, it's -78 minus a -15 over 17 minus 8. You take 1, 2, 3, 4 numbers. Okay. Could you enter this into Desmos and get me a value for that? Do you have a number for me here?
Almost. It isn't working for me. -7.
Yeah, it is -7. Very good. All right, so The next thing is that you are going to use this first point, A8 equals minus 15. And it becomes minus 15 equals A1 plus 8 minus 1 times minus 7. And this is what you end up solving for A1. So that's minus 49. And then you add 49 to both sides. So you get A1 equals 34. And so your formula is 34 plus n minus 1 times minus 7.
Okay. Cool.
That probably does it for today. Great job getting through 2 hours of math. I hope this helped, and I look forward to helping you again.
All right. Well, thank you very much.
You're welcome. Have a great night. Bye now.
You too. Good night.